Local Works Ad Hoc Subcommittee meeting, April 23rd. Let's call this to order.
Okay.
Anyone care to adopt the agenda?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Second.
Okay.
And the minutes from last week, we already heard our...
Anyone voting against adopting the agenda?
No.
Oh,
Okay. I have had it in that I put in these minutes that you were at last meeting and that I'm adding it in.
that's okay. I know.
And look, I didn't have you up above on here, so I'm adding you in again. That was a mistake from the previous week.
Well, the previous meeting.
Yeah. My bad. Okay.
Okay. So the minutes are adopted from last week? Approved?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from last week with the addition of Eric's name.
I'll second.
Okay.
So we're good there. No public comments at this point.
I could make a public comment, please. Just a reminder that the Cultural District Partners Meeting is tomorrow
What's it?
at 9 a.m. upstairs in Conference Room 1. We'll be moving forward, making plans to move forward and also planning the launch party with the MCC, which will be at the beginning of May. Thank you.
Upstairs, right? Not the big room.
No, not the mayor's conference room.
Launch party on May.
It has not been decided. It'll be the first week of May.
Okay. And what was the other thing that's going to be discussed?
Moving forward.
Okay.
Pardon me.
Okay. Should we move on to the old business?
Yeah.
Maybe I could start by sharing the Facebook campaign that we did. We have so far spent $68, and that has gained us 471,099 impressions, 34 clicks, and of those 471,000, most of those were ads on the right, but we had 13,500 social impressions, which are sponsored stories in the newsfeed.
Can you say that again?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
We've had,
That's a little,
we've spent
like I said, a little mumbo jumbo to me.
$68 total
Yeah.
for, and that's as of today. Let's see, I'm trying to see if I have the date on here. I can pull it up on the iPad, but it's basically been running for 2 weeks.
Okay.
We've had, so we're updating on the Facebook campaign that we had. 471,000 impressions. Of those impressions, most of those were ads. 13,594 were social impressions or sponsored stories.
13,900.
534.
And define what those are.
Yeah.
Can you?
Okay, maybe we can just go to the social impressions are in the sponsored stories. So versus an ad on the right, just a straight out ad, it looks like it's in your news feed.
Okay.
It could have been showing up, okay, maybe somebody who liked Local Works, it would show up as if Josh Rosenblatt likes the ad. The ad says, essentially, take our survey.
And that's called social impression, or that's...
Social impressions, let me get their definition, but it's, other than an ad, it's a sponsored story.
Sponsored story.
And then
And it included 13,594.
impressions. And we've had 34 clicks. So people who actually clicked the ad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And the impressions are the ones on the far right.
The total, mostly the ads.
Okay.
400
Well, 471,000 impressions.
total impressions.
And then what was the 13,594?
Social impressions.
Oh, those are social, okay.
Right. Let me see if I can just pull up a quick definition what they say. pass this around. I paused the campaign, just at this point, we spent $68. I wanted to kind of, we could look at how much time we have left. But we want, we can run up to $100 worth.
That's what's been approved.
Yeah.
So anything more, we'd have to go back to the mayor and get more approval.
So what's, I'm sorry. What's the CPC and the $2? I just curious.
Cost per click.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're bidding on there's a $10 a day maximum that we could spend. I don't think we've ever spent the full $10 in one day. And there's a cost per 1,000 impressions, and you set that level, and I've been kind of adjusting it. If you set it too low, you don't get that many impressions. So I kind of inched it up. I think we're up to 50 cents per 1,000 impressions. Was there another?
Do we think this is money well spent?
For $68, I mean, how many, several 100,000 impressions? That's a lot of.
471,000, yeah.
And actually, it tells us, but based on the target, we were targeting 92,000 people. That's people within a 10-mile radius of Easthampton. It says that we've reached 29,760
People?
people. So people have obviously been getting those ads multiple times to get up to 400. How many was it, the total impressions?
471.
Right, so people get I think since in my account, am running the ads, I don't see the ad at all. They'll show it to the person.
I don't remember seeing it.
You haven't seen it?
I block ads, so.
You block it? Well, somebody's seen it, and 30 people have clicked on it.
In general, not specific ads?
All ads.
Oh, we'll talk.
I was just going to say the same thing.
What's the definition of, I'm sorry, I forget what you said, the 29,000
Those are people we...
views?
Those are actual people who we've reached, 29.
What does that mean, though? What's that definition? What do you mean? So out of the 90,000 people that
Out of the 92,000 potential,
Okay.
yeah.
28,000 have actually
It's been
Been
displayed
online?
on their screen.
Right.
While they're,
displayed on...
Right.
while they're
While they're
looking, it's been displayed on their
Right.
screen.
Okay.
It's an impression, so they may not have noticed it,
Right, okay,
but it's there.
okay.
Cool. Well, good.
We did get one page like out of it all, so that's good.
No, that's not good.
I mean, this is, yeah.
You know, 34 clicks. People, it's hard to say, we can't really determine if of those 34 people who clicked it, did they proceed to do the survey right then and there?
Mm-hmm.
It's possible. It seemed like the number of people doing the survey was steadily going up.
Yeah, and it's going up, and we keep getting, I go to stack, and I see there's other stacks here, so,
That's awesome.
we may want to just consider how much more advertising we want to do.
We may not need. How many online surveys have been done?
It was a 219 today?
I haven't looked, no.
219? Because it
Yeah.
was like 204 a couple week or so ago,
Yeah,
right?
219.
So there was like
kind
a
of
reduction,
kind of leveled off.
now. Okay, so,
We really haven't done much more ad or sort of commenting or, oh, please take our, other than the Facebook ad. No, I don't know, has anyone?
Well, I mean, there was I think, we posted it on Facebook and it was shared a bunch
Yeah.
before the ads went out, and I think there were like 100 or so ads, 100 or so people took the survey online before I think we did any advertising with it. I think that the best method of getting people to take it online has just been word of mouth and getting people to post on their page so it
Right.
keeps coming up as their friends. I mean, 34 clicks out of whatever seems low.
yeah.
But we've had, how many total impressions? 403
Almost 472,000.
impressions. So we don't know, people who see that, they may have seen that and say, oh, okay, I remember, I better do that. We don't know that just because they didn't click it doesn't mean that they weren't affected by that ad.
Okay.
But with a 10-mile radius of 92,000, when you've got a population of Easthampton of 16,
Oh,
and I don't know if you...
Not everyone's using Facebook, so, well, not everyone's reading the Gazette, then we're just trying to...
Well, you know, I think
We've had as many surveys turned in to, I think you said you picked up about 100 at Big E's?
Yeah, I picked up, no, I picked up 66 so far
From Big E's.
from Biggie's, yeah. And how many you?
Between the two, Lathrop and Senior Center, I have 15.
so we've had 33,000 unique people see the ad from
Okay.
Facebook out of the 92,000 that are in that target range. Doesn't mean they actually saw it, but it was loaded on their screen.
Okay.
Well, the campaign's off now. We can either just leave it off and say, okay, we spent $68. Seems like it's leveled off at this
I think it's
point.
leveled up. I'm not so sure we need to just keep spending money on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can terminate that then.
Well, I said we should.
Yeah.
I mean, we have about 140 or so from, that have come into the office here. The 60, 80 years, we have about maybe 250 but hard copies and 200 online.
Hold on just a sec. I'm not asking that again.
I'm just guesstimating. I don't have the exact.
219 on Survey Monkey.
Okay, so 219, and I've got 66 for the Biggies. And you had how many?
I had 12 at one, and then Big E's, so 15 between the two senior.
From the two.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
So what, basically 480 have been done manually?
One from the chamber. And how many do you have? About? Whoa.
Sounds like fancy envelopes.
30, 60. So I think we have about 120, just rough count.
So, let's see. About 400, a little over 400, yeah.
That's with the online.
With you, yeah. So,
And considering the population of Easthampton is about 16,000, that's,
well, a lot of these are from out of Easthampton too. Or some of these are from out of Easthampton.
a few. I mean, I quickly went through when we had 204 responses, and there was a handful of responses on the survey that were from outside of Easthampton. Obviously, I haven't gone through these, so.
Well, we were hoping for around 500, so I think we're doing pretty well. I had been sending an email out to everyone who gave us an email address, thanking them and telling them that we're going to keep them in touch with what we do. I still have the ones that I got from Big E's that I have to send to, and I will probably do that with yours too.
Okay.
And then we need to talk about getting the hard copies input.
I'd like to help.
Okay.
Now Josh and I created a database on Google to store everybody, all the contact info, people who have either emailed, so that we could eventually maybe have some sort of constant contact campaign, or if we want to do a newsletter. So why don't we add everybody to that, and if we're gonna go through these surveys individually, if you come across one that gave contact info.
And all of these ones that are in envelopes that have return addresses.
That's great.
That is contact. You know,
Yep.
they've provided that, so we should enter that information.
Definitely.
Even if we don't have any email for them, even if it's just a physical address.
Yeah,
that's-
oh, definitely. Even if there's only a phone number, we have to read in.
Yeah.
And if there's mailing addresses, should we do little thank you postcards?
Could.
Similar to the email that you're sending everybody with an email address?
We could.
So, you know,
You say no? Yeah, I'm not sure we can get it.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But once it's in the database, it's not that hard to just print out labels.
Labels.
I mean,
That's true. That's true.
but,
Although, the emails I'm doing are personal,
yeah,
because it's easy to do a personal email,
yeah.
but it'd be hard to personalize. But I guess it's better than nothing.
At
If
least
we're
we have
gonna spend the money on postage, I think we want to use it for something more than
That's
just
true.
thank you.
That's
Like,
true. Emails are free. So-
Whereas if we're gonna
Yeah.
spend 46 cents,
Yeah.
That's a good point.
it's $50 in postage just for,
Yeah. So let's talk about the tabulation of these things.
yeah. I would think that we should just split them all up and enter them in. Everyone got that email I sent with the link to the manual entry
Yeah.
for the survey? Sent it out last week. It's no different than taking the survey online. It just keeps track of whether or not it was entered by us or versus the public. And if everyone just takes a stack and does some at their leisure.
I wonder if there's an easier way to do it on the back end, other than going through the whole process of it.
I looked and there is a manual entry page, but it's again the same as the survey. So I don't think there's an easier way to do it. Matt and I discussed if we could just put it into the database at the end after we download it, but then we don't get it in the Survey Monkey format with all the pretty charts and graphs and things that they do for us.
How important are those?
Maybe
I mean,
nice.
Okay.
it saves us a lot. I think it saves us a lot of time on the sort of analysis side of it. So we either spend the time entering it and getting it right. And there's only, we're missing a few members of the committee.
Yeah, we're missing two right now.
And
Mark and Catherine.
Castle.
Yeah.
So, I think we should divide it up into 8 and we'll leave them their stacks and they can get to it. Just because they missed the meeting doesn't mean they get out of
That's right.
responsibility.
They might get more.
But even so, at 8 apiece, we have about 200, so it's about 25 a person. And do 1 or 2 a day. We could have them done by the next meeting, and they've been coming in slower, so there won't be
Okay.
as many to get through the next time.
Okay. Sure.
And that's just one proposal.
Sounds doable.
Okay. I think they should be in one place to start with, though, so we can get, I guess not. Yeah, so we can divide them up that way. Why don't you give me yours, and then you and I can get together and we'll open those up and divide them into those that have contact information and not. And then we'll divvy them out to the group.
Well, I figured since we're here now, we should just divvy them up today.
Okay.
Maybe at the end of the meeting, just
Okay.
take 5 minutes and,
Okay. Reminder, we have to be up by 4 o'clock sharp because the EDIC's meeting here afterwards.
yeah.
Okay.
Did you resend that link?
I will.
Thank you. I know it's there somewhere, but I
I'll resend it to the whole group.
I appreciate that.
I mean, yeah, it's better to use the link for the manual entry, but you can do it the other way.
Yeah.
But this is just better to keep everything, we'll know anything that comes in. It kind of sorts where the information was entered from.
Oh, okay.
It keeps it all, the data goes into the same database, it just kind of
Gotcha.
adds an extra collector to it.
Okay, so is that it on the survey?
I think so, yeah.
Pushing it so we get our wanted 500. Obviously Facebook is working, but are there other ways that, there are
I think if we each repost about it.
large events that people are going to, that they can bring a couple of flyers or things like that, so we get at least to our goal, if not over.
Yeah, I mean,
Great.
I think we'll get there. We still have almost another month, another 3 weeks. So yeah, make a push, like you're saying. There's a cleanup day in Easthampton, May 4th. It's a Saturday. So
I've got a few I can write. At my office, I'll bring over our networking Thursday night.
yeah, that'd be great.
Does anybody know how they're representing Local Works graphically in what they're putting out?
We don't. We haven't met since the last time we met.
I'm just wondering if it was take a survey, you know? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing there.
There was a line that basically sponsored by EDIC, Greater Easthampton Chamber, and Local Works.
Okay.
Sue Phillips did that.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Was she
posted,
able to get our
I don't know who created that flyer, but I posted
Sue Phillips did.
Yeah, so I posted it on Facebook this
I
afternoon.
saw that, yeah.
So hopefully we can get that event created, dispersed, and
Yeah, was she able to use the logo?
I don't think there were any logos on it.
It might have been the chamber logo down the bottom.
I didn't look at the flyer that carefully, I just posted it.
Okay.
So, sorry, just go back for a second. Maybe we can just have some code on the flyer, as we're going through these surveys, just to mark them that they've been entered on the hard copies. If we just like take a highlighter and just kind of like
Go through it.
just cross through the front page, or
Or make some mark.
Check mark or something.
I'll just write it.
yeah, just a big check mark or some note on it, so that way they
Yeah.
because I mean, I think,
Entered with an initial or something.
Sure.
yeah, I mean, it's not so important.
They don't all be the same.
Yeah, but just so that way we can quickly determine whether or not,
Yeah.
if the piles get shuffled, like.
Right,
Okay.
that makes sense.
Okay.
So the survey ends on the 15th and 14th? Or 16th, yeah.
660.
Yeah.
Local website.
Have we done, now, what's going on with the website?
What a face.
Why does everyone look at me?
Well, I did email Matt a
You
profile.
have your profile, we haven't put it up yet.
And did I send you the logo or pictures? I don't remember if I was able to do that just
I
yet.
don't know. You had said you had a video as well, or Kathy was going.
Yeah, Kathy, I think I've got the link to that still.
We did put the video that Kathy made advertising the survey on the website. It's on there.
Was that fixed since
Yeah.
it was posted? There were corrections to it.
There was a couple things she did
Oh,
fix.
yeah.
It was the voiceovers with the.
No, it was the use of the word "this week's."
Yeah, did she fix it?
Yeah,
She
plus
said
there was another thing
she said
about,
she was
The
going to.
voiceover said
She said she was going to record a new one after that week.
customer
I don't know if
preference
she has.
survey versus community or consumer preference.
Consumer.
Right.
yeah, right, I made a note on that.
And I talked to Kathy and she said, everyone noticed. Everyone commented and everyone corrected her on it. And then she'd have her interns correct it. So
Okay.
Okay. So as far as overall, what we're going to do with categories and kind of profiles, making it nice, or that's something that's going to take a little bit of work to figure out. I mean, we can certainly we only have Mary Ann's right now. I was just kind of thinking maybe it's not good to just put one thing up that's without having a kind of a idea of where this is going or what.
Was there an actual template put out for that?
I just used what we had discussed in the meeting. We could certainly turn into a, put
It
out.
seemed like a good template.
So then can we do that? Post the template and Mary Ann's video as sort of like here's what you get.
Right.
When you follow this template, this is what you get. And, people are, I don't know if you've been keeping track of the website statistics since we started this survey. But, so I don't know if
We have all that, I haven't checked it,
it'd be interesting to see if people have been clicking from the
survey.
Survey Monkey after the thank you page to go to the Local Works website or see what's happening in that regard.
Yeah,
I mean, you clearly have been getting some emails, so some
Right.
people take the survey and then decide that they want to enter their contact
Right.
information, so they've been going back.
how
So
many did we get, Josh, 13 was it, or 12?
I'm sorry.
How many people emailed us off the website? Those contact emails that you sent out?
I don't know.
10 or 12?
Probably 10 or 12, yeah.
15%.
Do you think we should have like categories of businesses on one page and then a list, and then you, so it'd say Mary Ann's Dance, and then you click and that brings you to a new page?
Rather than scrolling down to see businesses after businesses.
Yeah, it'd be kind of messy if there's a million businesses listed with all that info, and how do you get to that?
How hard is it to start off one way and then go in a different direction later? I mean, I'm just thinking like, if we only get a handful of businesses,
Right.
having a categorization,
Right.
it just adds an extra step for someone who wants to look at it. So maybe like until we have 10 or 20,
Mhm.
we just kind of have them all on one page or two pages. I don't know exactly how you're proposing that.
Right.
And it would seem to me that would be less work at the beginning, or not, because then you'd be doing it twice.
I don't know. That shouldn't be either way, but I was kind of wondering if there's more of a package that would give us a profile that was a standard kind of thing where you have a list of businesses and the person puts their mouse over it and then their profile kind of pops up, so it wouldn't have to be a whole separate page.
Would that be something
Kind of
that,
like a light box, kind of
Yeah.
effect.
would that be like an app that we would buy for?
That could be an app, or, there's a lot of WordPress plugins and programs that, we might have to purchase to get something, or have somebody design it. There are people in town who are WordPress developers who might be able to advise us on, you want to get this website a little bit more functional, do this or that,
Anything that we're considering paying for needs to be done, paid for by June 30th. Or at least at the point where we have a quote and we've contracted and there's some amount of money that we can carry over if things are in process.
Right.
So just to put that sort of constraint, 2 months basically for the website in regard to getting that up to speed. If there's anything that we need to purchase.
Right.
What would be the average cost for something like that, for somebody to do that,
We could certainly have a list of the businesses and just have a page for now.
So you said each business gets a page and the list just links to that page?
Right. With maybe category, different categories.
Like restaurants, shopping, and
Right, something like that. And right now, there's only one profile we have, where we could put a call out.
I think that works to have each business gets their own page and then there's a master page, it just has the links. We can start off
Right.
uncategorized and just have it alphabetical.
Right.
And then as that list grows, we can just reorganize that list to be by category or...
That'd be good.
And that wouldn't have to necessarily spend money on an app.
Right.
Okay.
So I guess, as far as how do we get more businesses who are interested in wanting to create those profiles, could be another campaign.
Or word of mouth.
Word of mouth, or just write an article on the website, hey, list your business.
Yeah, or else we could just like ask like Casey,
Mhm.
and you could write one for your business. Would you write one for your car business?
It doesn't, it's not open to the public.
Oh, it's not, okay.
I can certainly do it.
Okay. Maybe you could mention it at the chamber board meeting. That's a good idea.
Mhm.
I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer at all. It just seems like this is a lot of work that I'm not sure is, how do we reach every single Easthampton business to make a really complete, thorough website that people are actually going to use in this manner? It seems a little impossible.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry I don't have a solution, but it just seems like we're going at this at a very, in a very
Right.
traditional way, and maybe that's not the solution.
Well, something like this survey was a great use of our, if there's other types of projects that were more event or...
I think once we do the analysis on the survey, we'll really have some ideas of how to focus down as to what our next kind of big step is.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in the meantime, I think
How do we use the website? How
Right.
do we?
Maybe we need to think more about what do we need to do that for? Maybe we don't need all these profiles.
No, I think we should have some. I mean, I'm still smarting a little bit from the chamber wanting to pull back from us. And I don't blame them for it, but I don't want that to happen again.
What about...
So I want to have us look, I don't want to have the website be dormant.
Agree.
How about instead of profiles, we open it up to businesses? You can write a guest article, kind of a blog, like these profiles could be like a blog, that's just an article that gets published on Local Works, and it would show up in the archives, and it could be more specific to some reason that you might write an article, and it's not a permanent page, it would just end up being archived, searchable. So it's more of a blog kind of format. Suggestion.
That's possible.
I'm thinking of, from the consumer point of view, which is our mission, is to educate the consumer about buying local. How could they use this website? Well, as far as a directory, yeah, I suppose.
Right.
But there's others out there.
Right.
Solving problems, and if I was looking for, I don't know, something, some consumer item and didn't know where to find it, could I use it as, would there be like a consumer blog where I could put the question out there? And,
Like a message boards.
Yeah.
Right. Certainly do that.
my thought is anything that Facebook does and anything that Google does, we should not try to compete with. And so there's got to be something on the website that the website is doing for us that we're not receiving from, because I was just spending some time this afternoon looking for mulch for the cleanup day. And I just went to Google and typed mulch in Easthampton, and then I narrowed the results for landscaping supplies, and I got a bunch of local businesses, so I called up. So that was sort of our directory that we're trying to create, or like Facebook has 90,000 people that we can reach within 10 miles of Easthampton. So we kind of have I think maybe focusing up on how to get more people to like Local Works and increasing the user base that we have access to might be a really good way to use Facebook. But again, I don't know how to... I'm at a loss for what the website should be used for outside of posting articles and things like that.
We already have a directory of businesses with the chamber.
Right.
Those that are members of the chamber.
Right.
True, that is true.
Certainly not a complete directory of businesses. Doesn't really
That's
exist.
a good point.
Yeah, I mean, even Google's is just, the people that pay Google for advertising. It's not a complete list of every list of businesses. And, you click on one and it went out of business 2 years ago and they haven't updated, so.
Right, but that's a problem with any website.
Yeah.
Unless it's maintained, it's going to be out of date.
But I think we do need a website, I'm just also.
Maybe it's more just for announcements of things we're doing, like the survey or events and occasional blog articles, and people want to write an article, they can,
Like Denise said, it's supposed to be, our mission is to educate.
yeah.
Right. I still think would try and have profiles,
Yeah.
as we can.
Sure.
I'll talk to Casey to see if he wants to add one. What do I tell him how to do it? How did
I
you do
can
it?
send you the one that,
I was just gonna say, or
Yeah.
you could
Okay,
do it,
would
or
you send that to me? And I'll check with Casey.
Thank you.
And will you bring it up at your next board meeting?
I shall do that.
Okay.
So by profile, you mean with the video?
Could be video, it doesn't have to be video. I mean,
Marianne has a video.
I know Marianne does have video, but are all profiles going to have videos?
Don't have to, but that's an asset of ECAT.
That's true.
People aren't
Just trying to
using.
make it more
Yeah.
appealing, more,
Well, yeah, okay, I'll suggest that too.
puts a face to
Yeah,
the local.
And every time we have a cross-platform brand, I mean, we reach out across, so we've got something that sits on our homepage, the website, and it's also on ECAT's website, and it's also being broadcast on the TV. It's on Vimeo, so, but everything has to, I think, whatever we do should always kind of point back to the website. Sort of, the content originates on the website or originates on Facebook, and then, so that people can come back to it.
we could also have Mike Superson do one for Piggies. He's done so much for us, I'd like to do something nice for him. I'll ask him too.
well, I guess that's the question. What does it do for him?
What would it do for him? Could be more advertising, goodwill. It's a way for us to say thanks.
If it's just a static page that he's going to forget about, and then a year from now it's out of date, it may not be that useful to him.
Well, then we take it down,
Yeah.
One of the things we should do is that every year or so, we should go through that list and make sure that everyone is still, you send me like an email, do you still want this up here?
Right.
Do you want to change
Yeah.
it?
Right.
Are you still in business?
I mean, the technology is certainly there where we could have a system where the person herself could go in and update it.
I think we want to be in control for the time being.
Well, they could update it, but we wouldn't go live. It wouldn't go live until we had done something. Until we had approved it. Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Okay.
So we keep thinking on this then. It sounds like there's not really a big consensus on what we need to do.
I think so. I think, as you said earlier, a lot of it some of it could be predicated on how the results of the survey are.
True.
I would say let's continue, since we've already sort of made the decision to do these profiles. I would think that we should continue working on them, and in the meantime, the survey will close up and we'll figure out where we're going for next big steps a little down the road.
Sure. Okay, so now we kind of touched on the mulch. That's all set?
Yeah, we're skipping newsletters.
Oh, didn't we discuss that with the,
Yeah.
with the database that you,
Okay, yeah.
So you're just going to send that link out to everyone. Now, Eric and Denise, you guys had problems last time, the Google document was shared, right?
Yeah, I don't know if it's my operation or what, but I don't.
Okay. But I'm thinking for the contact info, maybe if you're having trouble getting access to the Google document, would just be to go into the local works website and just fill out the contact form for the people.
Well, I thought, oh, that's right, it's not on the survey, is it?
Right.
Right.
So then, you know, if when we come to a contact, if you can't get directly into the database, at least if you type it into the local works website contact, then that generates the email that then gets sent to Josh, which then gets into the database.
But what's the issue with not being able to access the Google? Because it's...
There was when we tried to do this last time, some people had difficulties getting into the shared Google Doc based on, I don't know, it just was difficult. So without going into that process, I'm just putting this out here as an alternate way to get the contact info.
Okay. When we divvy up these, I'm going to take all the ones that I know have contact information on them. But for those that are still in the envelopes, if you come across those with contact, email me the contact information, please, so I can send them out.
If you can't get it in the spreadsheet.
Well, even if they can get it in the spreadsheet, send it to me so that I can send the email out.
Okay.
So would you just prefer then to get all the contact information just sent to you directly?
That'd be,
I mean, if ever you
That's
just,
what I was thinking,
But then
yeah.
you'll have to enter it all in the spreadsheet.
No.
so then take 5 less surveys and
so what's our plan of action then?
Actually, you know what, yeah, so no, just go ahead and enter it into the list, into the spreadsheet on Google Docs, and then I will go in and check. And those that
There's
are
a column in the spreadsheet that says status, right? And you said emailed.
Yeah,
yeah.
You can put a status in that
right,
says
and then I will, yeah,
leave it blank or
okay. Good, thank you for
need to contact.
Yep.
Okay,
That's in, when we're entering this information?
Right.
yeah,
Well,
if
it's in
they
the
have
Google
contact
Doc.
information back here,
Correct.
then you
So
can
at
put that in the Google Doc.
At the end of the meeting, why don't we just we'll do one demonstration, just so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah.
You've got your computer, so we can just all crowd
This doesn't have access outside right now.
to the wireless.
Yeah.
I can give you the wireless password.
I don't have, I don't have any,
Oh, it's on like a.
I just use it for a word processing thing.
Well, then we can go around into my
Yeah.
office and we can crowd around my computer.
Okay.
But we'll have to end a few minutes early because I need to be back for the EDSC.
Right.
Okay, so we're all set with the mulch, Josh?
I guess, see, we haven't, EDIC hasn't met since the last time we met.
Okay.
So I sent them an email saying that we were gonna,
The status, last time we were here, the local works committee voted $400 to the EDIC. So EDIC is going to use that to purchase mulch and plastic bags for the cleanup day.
And I got a ton of plastic bags that I had from last year. They're not heavy duty ones, but they're 55 gallon.
Well, we can-
Yeah, I got Carol to donate the paper.
Oh, awesome. So then it's just going to be used for the mulch.
Right.
Great.
Next year's another question.
Well, next year's another year. So, and I've been calling around to get some prices on mulch, so we should get a pretty good value.
Somebody said to me, well, what about these downed trees? Can't we just mulch, can't the city mulch those for free?
I would,
but it has.
There's mulch and then there's
It's gonna be
wood
cured.
chips.
Okay.
Yeah, mulch has been cured for a little bit, not just
That
raw.
would size of mulch.
There's wood difference between wood chips and mulch.
Okay. It's like composted partially or something.
Wood chip and mulch is typically the bark of the tree that's been partially shredded and.
Okay.
Some people do use just shredded leaf waste, shredded tree waste, but it doesn't look as good.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's the reason we're doing it, is because of aesthetics.
Great, because it looks nice and
Yeah.
trying to beautify the downtown.
Okay. All right, so as far as the budget, I just thought it might be useful for all of us to see what we've done, like where we are? Is that something that the city planning department can provide us with?
We do, we can provide that. I didn't know to prepare it.
Right.
So I just didn't look at the agenda in detail.
See, you should have sent it out to us, hadn't it?
I did.
I know.
No, but I can bring it.
That might be useful.
We're at about, just roughly from my memory, we allocated about 1,200 of the 2,600. Now we have another 400 that we've allocated to the PDIC. So I think we're about 600 or so remaining. But I'll send out an email to the committee with the breakdown of the budget.
I just thought it might be useful so we can see what we've done, you know, kind of more.
But I think we did go through this last time, and it hasn't changed since.
Right, but when it's just spoken, it's nice to see something in writing. So this is what we did, you know, this is where we
Sure,
stand.
I will send an email out to the committee with the details.
And we are well beyond the point where we can request money for the next year, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we won't have any money for the next year.
There's been a token amount put in for next year for the maintenance of the computer and the website and domain name and stuff like that.
Okay.
But that hasn't been approved. So we don't know what we're getting. The mayor and the city council determine what the budgets are. So
Okay.
we'll find that out. Well, the fiscal year begins July 1st, so we'll find that out sometime before then.
Good. Okay.
Hopefully the positive results of the survey and they see how, you know, we've actually done something useful might influence them.
Hopefully. Yeah.
All right.
So that's it, should we wrap up?
Let's wrap up so we can divvy these things out.
Yeah. Okay.
The next meeting is May 14th.
No, May not, oh, is that right? Yeah, sorry.
It is.
Second and fourth
Yeah.
Tuesdays of the month.
First and third.
No.
Okay.
The third is the EIC.
Yep.
Would you say the night?
14th. Voting.
Okay.
Okay. Control save.
It's actually 3 weeks from now.
Okay.
Yeah, we got an extra Tuesday.
All right.
We are adjourned.
Let's adjourn.
You don't click us off? Yeah, I don't.